All right. How's everybody doing? Your boy Masejovic ASMR here, and today we got a very special guest. As you can see, some people call him the Centipede. Other people call him the Nigerian Sex King. He's known by many aliases throughout the world, but I like to call him on the phone sometimes. And he's a professional MMA fighter with an average record. I won't get into too many details, but anyways, here he is. Nonetheless, we got Obina Obi Ukoha. Thanks for joining us today, sir.
Pleasure is mine. Thanks for having me. Oh, I'm not a professional yet, though.
Oh, we got an amateur fighter. Excuse me. I was just
Not
trying to
yet.
ripen the. I was trying to ripen the resume right there a little bit. Give him a little oomph. But anyway, nonetheless, we're here to talk about UFC Fight Night. Korean Zombie Chansung Jung fighting against Brian or Modelo Ortega. I made up that nickname. He's just in the all the commercials. You know what I'm talking about?
Not
You don't know what
anymore.
not anymore? Yeah. After he took that.
Amanda Nunez took his spot.
Yeah, right, exactly. They're like, all right, we're done with you, man. But anyways, let's get into it. We're gonna start off with the prelims. We got the first fight of the night. I don't know how to pronounce some of these names, so don't make fun of me too much. But I'm gonna do my best to get through them. We got Fares Ziam fighting Jamie Malarkey. You want to go ahead and start us off?
All right. Yeah, sure. So, first off, on the prelims is as you said, most of their names we might butcher them, but we have Faris Ziam versus Jamie Malarkey. This is taking place at 155 pounds. From what I researched, Faris, the Smile Killer, Ziam, he's a very lengthy 6'1" kickboxer. He looks good at controlling the distance with his strikes. And then we have Jamie Malarkey, also he's 6 foot, and he's a Welsh fighter. He looks pretty well rounded. I believe this is his second or third fight in the UFC. Looks pretty nitty gritty.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a little research, saw that he fought the current featherweight champ Alexander Volkanovski. She got suffered a knockout loss. But
Yeah, still competition though.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this fight, it looks like both fighters look like stand-up fighters. So I see this fight being on the feet. But due to Faris Ziam's past as a kickboxer, I'm gonna give him the edge. I think it'll go the distance decision.
Mm-hmm. Decision
So
for
I'm gonna give. What was that?
No, sorry. I was just reiterating what you were saying.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna give the nod to Faris Smile Killer Ziam.
Okay. I believe he's the underdog. I'm not sure. Got to check the line on that one. But yeah, no. Both of these dudes are coming off a loss. Faris is coming off a loss, and Jamie Malarkey coming off a loss to Brad Riddle. It's not a bad loss to have. Riddle's pretty good. So yeah, like we said earlier, I think Jamie's fought the better competition. He's got a nice left hook. He doesn't have the best takedown defense, but like you said, I think this is going to be a stand-up fight for the most part. He's got an active guard off of his back though, and he'll work his way back up if he does get taken down. So you'd like to see that. But he definitely wants to fight at range, and I do think that he's the more technical striker in this matchup, in my opinion. If he could keep it standing, I think he's got a good chance at winning a decision. But in regards to Faris, he likes to throw low leg kicks. He's got a nice straight jab. He'll use body locks to get the fight down to the ground situationally. He's got a good straight right punch as well. Good movement on the outside. He handles pressure pretty well, but he will resort to wrestling if he gets pressured too much. And in my opinion, he seems like a decent grappler and a decent wrestler and a decent striker. Like, I don't really see him excelling in any particular area, but I do think that his path to victory would probably be grappling. I think Jamie's striking is a little bit more technical, a little bit more high level. And I don't know if Faris can take that kind of strike, that kind of high level striking. So I think his path would be to grapple him to a decision. But I'm gonna go opposite of you, and I think Malarkey is gonna win either a decision or a late round TKO. So that's our predictions for the first fight. Now let's move on to the second fight of the night. We got Said Nurmagomedov. He's 13-2, fighting Matt Striegel. He's 18-2. You want to start us off?
All right. Said Nurmagomedov versus Matt Striegel. This fight's taking place at 135 pounds. Said Nurmagomedov, he has a couple fights in the UFC. Watched a couple of his highlights. Seems like a very well-rounded, versatile fighter. Throws a lot of spinning stuff, mixes it in. Does a
Mm-hmm.
lot of wrestling also. Pressure striker. Mark Striegel, the Filipino. This is going to be his UFC debut. Haven't seen that much of him besides his past fights, and he seems like a well-rounded fighter. Also, I also saw that he fought globally in ONE FC, which is pretty impressive. Because if you're familiar with ONE FC, the rules out there, you could soccer kick someone like you're a Lionel Messi taking a penalty kick against Manchester City,
All
and
right.
I'll give you props for that if you can
Mm-hmm.
handle those ONE FC rules. But
Mm-hmm.
Said Nurmagomedov, I'm gonna give the nod to Said Nurmagomedov. I just think he's too versatile, and also Mark Striegel. We haven't seen that much from him, but he
Mm-hmm.
also has an impressive record too. I believe his record was 18-2. I forgot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna give this one to Said Yeah, you know what I want to say.
We know what you're talking about, bro. We know what you're talking about. Yeah, man. So we got Said Nurmagomedov, 13 to 28 years old, fighting at 135 pounds, 5'8", 70-inch reach. He's coming off a loss to Rayoni Barcelos, but this dude's got nice striking. He's pretty different than the other Nurmagomedovs you might have seen in the past. Like I said, he'll throw a plethora of strikes. He's got spinning back fists, question mark kicks, spinning heel kicks, leg kicks, front kicks. I mean, the dude can do it all on the feet. He's got a nice jab. He throws a lot of feints as well. You like to see that from high-level strikers. But he kind of spams the spinning attacks, or at least that's what I seen in his last fight. Like he'll just keep throwing spinning attack, spinning attack, spinning attack, spinning attack over and over and over. And against upper level competition, you don't really want to do that because when they see a sort of a pattern like that, you can time something, you can whatever, you can figure it out, you'll adjust and adapt. But anyways, he's a good striker overall. He's susceptible to low kicks, and he really relies on his movement. He's got good takedown defense, and if he can avoid getting taken down, I think that this dude should pick Mark Striegel apart on the feet. So Mark Striegel, 18-2, 32 years old, 5'8". He's on a 4-fight win streak, and he's got a sub win over Kai Kara France, which is you like to see that. That's UFC level competition right there. And he wins the
Yeah,
majority of his fights via submission. So he definitely wants to fight on the mat. He's a high level wrestler. He is a southpaw. He likes to throw low kicks and front kicks, but I do think his only path to victory is a sub win. Like I don't see him. He's not going to outstrike Said Nurmagomedov. His striking is pretty rudimentary in my opinion. And so, can he get Nurmagomedov to the ground? That's the question, and even if he can he submit him from there? That's an even bigger question. So, I mean, like I said has good takedown defense. So if he's not able to get it there, I just see him picking him apart on the feet and probably winning a decision because he doesn't have too much power, but, he just like to throw a lot of volume strikes. But, yeah, I'm definitely going to go Said here, probably winning via decision. So we agree on this one. All right, moving on to the next fight. I got this is a tough one. Gadzi Murad Antigulov going against Maxim Grishin. So I'll start off this one. We got Antigulov, who's 20-7, 33 years old, 5'11", 70.5-inch reach. And this dude has 24 out of 27 of his finishes before the 1.5 mark. So this is a little bit of a betting take. So 24 out of 27 of his wins have come before the second round ended. So I mean, just for all you bettors out there, you guys might want to hit that under 1.5 potentially because he's either finishing or getting finished. But he is the plus 310 underdog in this case, and he's got a horrible gas tank. I'm just gonna say it. This dude probably has 8-7 minutes of hard fighting in him, and then after that, if the other guy's cardio is better than his, he's probably gonna lose. But he's coming off 3 straight losses to UFC level fighters, Paul Craig, Ion Cutabella. 15 out of his 20 wins come via submission. So obviously this dude's a submission specialist. He's a good wrestler though. He does have overhand rights. He'll throw some looping power punches, but it's all to set up the takedowns. His striking defense isn't very good, and I see his only path to victory being submission. Wrestling and submitting Maxim Grishin. So moving on to Maxim Grishin, he's 38-2, 36 years old, 6'3", 76-inch reach. So he's going to have a huge reach advantage. He's coming off an unimpressive decision loss to Marcin Tybura. He's got a nice straight jab. He doesn't have the best takedown defense, which obviously comes into play in this fight. It's kind of low volume. He can be controlled against the cage. I am surprised that he's such a big favorite. Just the line I feel like is kind of huge or kind of massive for Maxim Griffin. I'm probably going to stay away from this fight from a betting perspective. Maxim probably wins the decision, but the line is so juiced to him, it just doesn't make it worth it. And I either see him winning a decision or finishing him late when Antigulov's cardio wears out. So if you can avoid the submission, I got Maxim Grishin. Go ahead, brother.
Good. You pretty much hit the nail on the head. So right. Antigulov, just like you said, ground fighter. Most of his wins are by sub. And I also did notice, most of his wins also didn't get past the first round. And then we have Maximus Grishin. I noticed that he's coming down a weight class for this bout. This bout takes place at 205. He used to be a former heavyweight fighter.
That's right. That's why he's Burra.
Right. Yeah. And Maxim is also he's an MMA veteran. The guy has a record of 30-8. Seems like a ground fighter to me. Most of his wins come via decision, and also aggressive too. But in this bout, I'm gonna give the nod to Maxim Grishin. Just like you said, I think Antigulov's gonna gas. He might TKO him in the third, but I got Maxim Grishin winning this bout.
All right, yeah, I agree. We both agree on that one. Let's move on to the next fight. We got who is it? We got Jung Park,
Iron Turtle.
Who's he fighting? Oh, John Phillips. All right, you want to start us off with this one?
Yeah, so we have Jung Park, the Iron Turtle, versus John, the Welsh Wrecking Machine Phillips. This bout's taking place at 185 pounds. So Jung Park, Korean, not really that much on him, but he seems like a orthodox fighter, decent ground. And then we have John Phillips. Saw that he trains out of SBG, which is Conor McGregor's gym. He's also an MMA vet too, has a record of 22-10. Very aggressive fighter, and he was the guy who actually welcomed Khamzat Chimaev to the UFC.
Yeah.
But
back when his name was the White Mike Tyson, I think John Phillips changed his nickname.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
But John Phillips, he seems like he lives up to his name. Welsh Wrecking Machine, seems like a very aggressive, reckless fighter, careless fighter. And I think Jung Park is going to capitalize on that. And, I mean, if he doesn't get clipped, I see Jung Park, the Iron Turtle, winning this bout by a submission.
Okay.
Submission in the second round.
Okay, I like it a lot. All right, so Jung Park, 11-4, 29 years old, 5'10", 73-inch reach. He's the minus 255 favorite, that's what he opened up as. Like you said, he's an orthodox fighter. On the feet, I did see he has a good snappy straight jab. He doesn't have the best striking defense, and I feel like this matchup, both these dudes have really bad striking defense, but he likes to throw elbows when disengaging from the clinch or when close. He doesn't have the best takedown defense, but he'll use the guillotine in the accept bottom position, which I don't really like to see that, unless you're like a guillotine master or something. But anyway, he's the slightly more technical striker on the feet, in my opinion. And so you got John Phillips, who's 22-10, 35 years old, 5'11", 75-inch reach. So he's going to enjoy a 2-inch reach advantage. He's the plus 210 favorite. Like you said, he welcomed Khamzat to the UFC, and he lost via destruction. He's lost 4 of his last 5 fights. So that's just something to think about and look at. He's got a powerful overhand left. And that's pretty much his moneymaker right there. That's pretty much what he hits everybody with. And the big thing about this fight is kind of similar to the other fight. He gasses out. He's a reckless dude. He doesn't care about getting hit. He'll give one to take one, or however the saying goes. And his only path is landing that left or a huge shot and the knockout. I don't see him winning a decision. I don't see him really submitting him or anything like that. So as long as Jun Park, like I said, he's slightly more technical than him on the feet. He's got a nice jab. As long as he can keep it at distance and avoid that the power shot from John Phillips, I think he'll probably win a decision as well. I know all the fights I've been saying they're pretty much winning by decision, but honestly, that's how I see it really going. I don't see him really knocking him out too much. John Phillips does have a bad gas tank, so that could come into effect later in the second and third round. Potentially, he just gasses out and hits him with a TKO or something like that. But I don't know, man. I got Jun Park winning via decision. So let's move on to the next one. I got Jillian Roberts fighting Poliana Botelho. So you want to start this one off?
All right, so we have Jillian the Savage Roberts versus Poliana Botelho. This bout is taking place at 125 pounds. So we have Jillian Roberts, who trains out of American Top Team in Florida. Mostly a ground fighter. I believe most of her wins are by sub. And then Poliana Botelho is a striker, Muay Thai striker. So this is kind of like one of those classic grappler versus striker bouts. Poliana Botelho, her last fight, well, I don't want to say her last fight, but her fight against Cynthia Calvillo, she didn't really look that good on the ground, seemed a little lost, and that is Jillian the Savage Robertson's domain. So I believe Jillian is gonna get this fight to the ground and get a submission win, probably in the second round.
Okay. All right. I like it, bro. I like the little breakdown. Jillian Robertson, 8-4, 25 years old, 5'5", 63-inch reach. She's the -240 favorite. She trains at American Top Team. I love to mention that because I think it's one of the best gyms, one of the best training. If you're training with amazing training partners, you're only going to get better. So I love when fighters train at American Top Team. It makes me think that they're a little bit higher level, than maybe training at a local gym or something like that. So, anyways, styles make fights. Like you mentioned, this is the classic grappler versus striker. Jillian Roberts, she's fought and beat some good opponents. She's a submission specialist, and she's an incredible grappler. She's relentless with the takedowns. Going up against Poliana Botelho, 8-2, 31 years old, 5'8". One thing that I did notice when watching her fights is that she tends to gas when she grapples. And like you said, that is Jillian Robertson's domain. So this is a bad matchup, in my opinion, Poliana. She's got good striking, but can she stop the takedown defense? Can she stop the takedowns from Jillian Robertson? Like I said, she's relentless with it. And even if she can, will she have the gas tank to win, a decision or something? I don't think so. In my opinion, I think this is a really, really bad matchup for Poliana. Jillian Robertson, I just see her, being relentless with the takedowns and either grinding out a decision or even potentially hitting her with a submission. Like I said, she's a specialist. So, you know what? I'm probably going to go second round sub for Jillian Robertson. I got her winning this. I'm pretty confident. I don't like really betting on women's MMA because it's even more unpredictable, and there's so many variables that in MMA as it already is. But I feel pretty confident in taking Jillian Robertson in this spot.
You got a specific submission you think she's gonna hit her with?
Oh man, I had
something out there.
If I had to get, what, I see her being on top, so maybe like an arm triangle. Maybe an arm triangle. She slips that in from the top. She's starting to ground and pound, and she slips it in on her neck, and boom, bada bing, bada boom, she's out. But that's just a guess. Honestly, I don't even know if she has any arm triangle victories in her past, but I'm gonna guess that one. All right, so let's move on to the next fight. We got Matus Gamrot, 17-0, fighting Guram Kudaladze. Go ahead. Why don't you take this one?
All right. So this fight, I'm actually looking forward to this fight. So we have Matus Gamrot versus Guram Kudaladze. I'll just call him Guram. This fight takes place at 155 pounds, and this is going to be both fighters' UFC debut. Now, I did a little research into this one also, and this seems like an extremely grappler versus a striker bout. We have Matus. Like I said, this is his UFC debut, 17-0. He's undefeated. And From what I saw, he has a very Khabib-ish style. Take you down, beat you up, grind out a decision or a TKO win. And then we have Guram on the other hand. He's a striker, kickboxed in the past, did a little Muay Thai in the past also. Lots of striking bouts prior to his MMA career. And I also saw that he trains with Hamzat. So I'm just gonna
Oh.
assume that he has pretty decent grappling.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically looking at this, I would think Matus might, grind out a decision, take him down,
Yeah.
ground and pound. But idealistically, I would want Guram to knock him out because I favor strikers. I'm biased towards the
Oh, okay.
strikers,
So this is
so
a
I'm gonna
little bias on your end.
yes.
Okay, got you, got you.
So I'm gonna bet Guram via knee KO second round.
Oh, damn. All right. Yeah, so I saw that Matus trains at American Top Team. Like I said, love to see that. He's the minus 295 favorite. To be honest with you, I didn't get to do too much research on this fight, so I'm gonna go ahead and lean with what you said. But I tend to favor wrestlers. To be honest with you, whenever it's a
Yeah,
wrestler versus striker matchup, if if the wrestler has the advantage, like a dominating advantage in the wrestling department, I always tend to lean towards them. So him being the minus 295 favorite, opening up as such a huge favorite, being 17-0, 29 years old, he's got a decent reach, 71-inch reach. I'm actually gonna go with a wrestler, but like I said, I haven't done too much research on this fight, so maybe stay tuned for later in the week if I have a more I've done a more in-depth research on this one. But
yeah,
I don't know how good Guram's takedown defense is, but if it's not that good, I'll probably definitely go Matus. But like I said, haven't done too much research, so have to move on to the next fight. Got Claudio Silva taking on James Krause. I'll go ahead and take this one because I actually did some research on this one. Claudio Silva, what I noticed from this dude is he's got some reckless striking, but he's kind of similar to like the Damian Maya type, where he or even Ryan Hall, where he's just like throwing up kicks and throwing up punches, but it's all to set up the BJJ. He's got incredible Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, very high level. He doesn't have good striking offense or defense, like I said, but it's submission victory or nothing for this guy. He's been reversed by lesser grapplers. I have seen that, and he does have gas tank issues. But like I said, it's sub or nothing for Claudio Silva. And he's taking on late replacement James Krause, as James likes to do, come in late and get these W's. James, he's got a nice jab. He's very versatile on the feet. He does have 50% takedown defense, which is going to come into handy in this fight because, maybe he doesn't want to be on the feet. But then again, he is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt in his own right. So you can't, obviously there's levels to this. There's levels to the black belt game in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but I say James Krause ain't no slouch. And he's got nice timing on his striking. He's got good calf kicks. And if he can avoid the sub and outlast him to a decision or late finish, I can definitely see that happening. If he doesn't get the sub on him, I don't see any way Claudio Silva winning this fight. I don't see him winning a decision. I think he's the overall better fighter. He's got that veteran savviness. He's got a high IQ. So I think this is a really good spot for Krause, and I'll probably end up betting him. I don't know what the line is on this fight, but when it does come out, or if it's already out, I'd be real interested in this fight. I think James Krause wins either a decision or finishes him late.
Yeah, just like you said, Claudio Hannibal Silva, BJJ black belt, has that Damian Maya style. Throws a lot of pretty sloppy strikes just to set up the jiu-jitsu versus James ain't no slouch Krause. That should be his nickname. Yeah, James Krause is an MMA veteran, very nitty-gritty, down the get-down fighter. And just like you said, I think it's either submission or nothing for Claudio, but James Krause, he's seen it all. I don't think he's going to get caught in a submission. Claudio's going to try and submit him. He's going to block all the attempts, and I'd say James Krause TKO win probably in the second round. And also, James Krause's fight, I believe it was his last fight, I'm not sure. Really impressive. The one that he fought at 185 pounds on like 2 days notice or 1 day notice.
Yeah,
and
that was
that went to the distance. That was very impressive on James Krause's part.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give James Cross getting the TKO in second round.
All right, great. Moving on to the next fight, we got Thomas Almeida fighting Jonathan Martinez. Thomas Almeida, 22-3, 29 years old, 5'7", 72.5-inch reach. He's the -155 favorite, fighting Jonathan Martinez, 12-3, 26 years old, 140 pounds, 69-inch reach, +135 favorite. Or I mean, +135, not favorite, underdog. But I believe that line has kind of changed almost to a pick 'em. But anyways, go ahead and take it away.
All right, so we got Thomas Almeida versus Jonathan Dragon Martinez. This is taking place at 135 pounds. Thomas Almeida, a couple years back, the guy was on a roll, knocking people out before he kind of lost his momentum, suffered a couple of knockout losses by Cody Garbrandt and other fighters. Thomas Almeida, Muay Thai, mostly a striker, and I would classify him as a glass cannon kind of fighter. He has really good offense, but he's chinny. And then Jonathan Martinez, on the other hand, well-rounded, seems like mostly a boxer striker. He's very tough, very nitty-gritty. And I'm going to give this matchup to Jonathan Martinez. I just think he's a lot tougher than Thomas Almeida. And I believe it's Almeida, if he gets clipped, it's going to go south for him.
You got a round?
Probably third round. Third round knockout, TKO.
Okay. I like it, Brody. So Thomas Almeida, starting off with him, this dude has a 46% significant strike accuracy. One thing to note, though, he is 1-3 in his last 4, but he is facing the much higher competition, in my opinion. He's had almost a 3-year layoff. That is a long layoff. That's almost 1,000 days. You know what I mean? That's crazy, or it might be 1,000 days. But anyways, I'm not in the high math. Anywho. He's a very entertaining fighter. This dude, it goes to kill or be killed. I like, me personally, I like watching Thomas Almeida fight when he did fight. So I'm actually really looking forward to this matchup, going up against the young prospect, Jonathan Martinez. He's a southpaw, throws these really nice low leg kicks. He is the short notice replacement, though. I think he got this fight on like 2 weeks notice or something like that. He throws nice feints, which you like to see. He'll use elbows in close range, flying knees to the body. He's got good grappling transitions on the ground. He'll scoop up a submission when they, when they appear. And I'm gonna go ahead and lean Martinez to win a decision here. I think he has the better cardio. He's, obviously been fighting more frequently than Almeida, and it'll definitely be his toughest matchup so far in Almeida. Martinez hasn't fought the higher competition like that before, but I like what I've seen from Jonathan Martinez. I probably won't be betting on this fight, but I'll be rooting for Martinez to get the W. Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually really intrigued by this fight. I want to see how Almeida looks, really coming off that 3-year layoff. But I'm gonna go ahead and go with Jonathan Martinez to. Yeah, I like what you said. He's definitely the tougher fighter, and he could for sure win a late round TKO or even a submission in the 3rd round if Almeida gasses, depending on what his cardio is like. Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on to the next fight. We got Modestos Bukaskis, 11-2, +280 underdog, 26 years old, 205 pounds, 6'3", 78-inch reach, going against Jimmy Crute, 11-1. He's the -350 favorite, so a big favorite. 24 years old. He's pretty young. 206 pounds, 6'2", 72-inch reach, and like I alluded to, the line is very wide. Let me go ahead and start off with this one. So Jimmy Crute, what can I say about this dude? He's incredible on the ground. He finishes a lot of his fights with ground and pound or submission, but mostly the ground and pound. His submission game is nice, though. Talking about Modestus, he's got very good movement on the feet, quick hands, but overall rudimentary striking. And one thing that I really watched on the tape was that he doesn't have the greatest takedown defense, but he won't accept bottom position, which I like to see. You know, some fighters, they get taken down, they'll just kind of like put you in their guard, and the guard is just like a stalling technique. You know, you're not really getting up from the guard. So he likes to get up. He'll throw elbows from the top when he's on top of people, and he'll try to take him down. He's finished fights like that. Oh, so like basically when people try to, take him down, and he'll throw elbows from the top. You've been seeing a lot of people finish like that. A lot of people recently have been finished like that. So that's something to note, because Jimmy Crute is going to try to take him down. But how I see this fight playing out is I see Jimmy getting a TKO in the second from ground and pound. I don't think his Modestos takedown defense is good enough to stop him, Jimmy, from doing what he's doing, and he's just a mauler on the ground. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we have Modestas, the Baltic Gladiator, Bukauskas versus Jimmy the Brute Crew. Just like you said, yeah, this both of them are actually young. 24 versus 26, two young fighters. Modestus, I'd say he's well rounded, and like you said, I also saw the clip of him throwing the elbows from the
Mhm.
clinch. And then we have Jimmy the Brute Crew, very aggressive, comes forward with pressure, really lives up to his name, the Brute. I have the Brute winning this by knockout, second round, probably
Okay.
first.
Okay. Okay. I like it. So we're pretty much on the same page here. One thing to note is that Modestos has a 6-inch reach advantage allegedly. So it's a pretty big advantage just in regards to the striking. But yeah, we're on the same page. We both got Groot winning, probably second, or you said maybe even first. All right, so moving on to the next fight, we got Jessica Andrade facing Caitlin Chikagian. Caitlin Chikagian is 14-3, 31 years old, 5'9", 66-inch reach. Jessica Andrade, 20-8, 29 years old, 5'1", 62-inch reach. Go ahead, brother.
All right, so Jessica Andrade versus Caitlin, the blonde fighter Kukagian. This bout's taking place at 125 pounds. Both of these women are UFC veterans. On one hand, we have Oh yeah, I also thought it's nice to note that Jessica Andrade, she's coming up a weight class. So
Mm,
her previous fight was against Rose Namajunas at 115, and we all know how Jessica Andrade likes to fight, very bulldozer like style. Comes
mhm,
forward, throws those heavy hands. And then we have Caitlin Kukagan on the other hand. I would classify her as a point fighter. You know, she has really
mm,
good footwork, bouncy. Most of her wins are by decision.
mhm.
So I'm I'm gonna lean towards Caitlin Kukagan getting the unanimous decision nod. I think she's just gonna use her footwork and avoid Jessica Andrade, make her chase her and
Mhm.
just tag her from the outside, get a decision win.
Okay. All right, so Jessica Andrade, she's lost her last 2 fights. Obviously, fighting really, really high level opponents. She actually fared really, really well, in my opinion, against Rose. I thought Rose was going to go out there and have a version of their first fight, but that didn't really happen. She really came on strong late in the rounds, and she was able to clip her a couple times, really hurt Rose. And I don't know Rose's reach, but I'm pretty sure she probably had a decent reach advantage. Rose is pretty lanky, but Andrade was able to close the distance and really, inflict some damage. So, uh, Caitlin Chikagian, she's got a 66-inch reach. Andrade is at a 4-inch reach disadvantage. Caitlin, she's definitely the longer, lakier fighter, like we mentioned. She's definitely the more technical striker. She's got good cardio. She's a master of range. She wants to keep the fight at distance with jabs and kicks. She actually has a low-key underrated ground game, though, too, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's not like she's just strictly a stand-up fighter, although that's where she wants to fight. Like you said, she's a point fighter. Can she outpoint Andrade for 3 rounds? And Andrade knows that. Andrade knows she wants to do that. So is Andrade really going to be afraid? She's moving up. She's moving up a division. So she doesn't have to have that such a big weight cut probably, but can Chikagian avoid the power of Andrade? Andrade has serious power at 115. Now she's fighting at 125. Obviously that's more than likely that's going to translate. So I'm gonna have to go against you on this one, and I think Andrade is gonna clip her at some point in the fight. Probably not the first round when she's on point, but I just see her closing the distance, maybe bullying her against the cage, maybe even getting the fight on the ground and landing some vicious ground and pound. I know Chukagian's ground game is low key and underrated, but how can she stop the takedowns? I don't even know. Maybe Andrade will look to implement some wrestling. I'm not sure, but I do think that at some point Caitlin will get caught. I don't think that Andrade really impressed me versus Rose. That's the only reason I'm leaning this way. And just how she was able to close the distance and get in on the more technical striker was really impressive to me. So I'm gonna go Jessica Andrade via TKO in either the second or the third. Man, I'm gonna go second. I'm gonna go second round TKO for Andrade. I really like how she's been looking recently.
All right.
Moving on to the co-main event of the evening, we got Cyril Gahn fighting Ante. I don't even know how to pronounce that one, so I'll leave that one up to you. But Cyril Gahn, 6 feet, 29 years old, 249 pounds, 6'4", 83-inch reach. Fighting Ante guy. He's 17-3, 30 years old, 6'5", 79-inch reach. Go ahead, brother.
All right, so we have Cyril Bon Gaiman Gone, the Frenchman,
Mhm.
versus Ante Walking Trouble Delija. I believe that's how you pronounce it. This fight takes place at a heavyweight. So Cyril Gone, he has a really extended kickboxing, Muay Thai striking background. He has a striking background. Doesn't have that much MMA experience, but so far so good.
Mhm.
He's had wins by TKO, KO submissions, including a heel hook submission, which is very impressive for a heavyweight. Seems very well rounded. Of course, he's still picking up on the ground game, submission game. And then we have Ante, Walking Trouble, Croatian. This is gonna be his UFC debut. And from what I've seen, the guy seems like a very just pressure fighter. He tries to be in your face at all times, throws overhands, tries to take you down and beat you up kind of style. But this is his UFC debut, so looking forward to see how he's gonna look.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna go with Cyril Gone. I just think Cyril Gone is just too big, too strong, too athletic for Ante, and I think he's gonna shut down the pressure that Ante's gonna bring. And I have Cyril Gone winning this by TKO in the second round.
All right, nice. So first, I want to talk about Cyril Gahn. This dude trains with Francis. You know, obviously that's a big deal because he's a heavyweight. He's got many first round finishes. Not very many people make it out of the first round against him. His last fight, he beat Tanner Bozer. It's a nice win. You know, Tanner Bozer's been looking really, really good against other heavyweights.
Yeah,
He yet to face any real adversity though. You know, so that's kind of important because you know how is he going to react when he finally does face someone where he's just not able to put him away immediately. He can fight at range. He's an in and out kind of striker. He has actually got really good submissions, but from the top. You know, how's his game from the bottom? We haven't really seen that yet. He's an athlete. He's definitely the better striker in this matchup. And then talking about what's the other dude's nickname? I want to call him by that. Walking
Walking
Trouble.
Trouble.
Walking Trouble. Yeah, I'll just call him Walking Trouble. I like that. He trains with Rakic, another good fighter. Obviously not the level of Francis Ngannou, but still, you know, not bad. He's definitely the more experienced fighter. He's a good grappler in his own right, and that's where he might have the advantage, in my opinion. He's a huge underdog, and his path to victory, in my opinion, might be just tiring him out with the grappling. You know, putting that pressure on him, not letting him fight at range. Like I said, Cyril Gahn likes to fight at range. He's an in and out type of fighter, and just making him feel overall uncomfortable. That, like I said, Cyril Gahn hasn't really faced any type of adversity yet, so maybe Walking Trouble could, you know, put him in trouble at some point in the fight. But I do see Cyril Gahn probably finishing him in the second round. I don't think he's going to go away as easily as his other opponents have, but the line is just massive on Cyril Gahn. Like he's a massive, massive favorite, and all the money is coming in on
Yeah,
him. So you might have a live underdog here in Walking Trouble. He's not, you know, he's not a bad fighter. He's 17-3. He's 30 years old. He's not that old. He's 6'5", 79-inch reach. He's at a 4-inch reach disadvantage, but I just think he knows like his path to victory is not going to be striking with him. So if he can tire him out, get him, you know, get all that lactic acid buildup from the athlete, you know, potentially just grind him out to a decision or maybe even a late round finish. So if you like underdogs, that might be the underdog play right there. But I'm going Cyril Gahn as well, second round TKO. Moving on to the main event of the evening, we got Chan Sung Jung. Most people know him as the Korean Zombie, fighting against Brian Ortega. Go ahead, brother. Start us off.
All right, so Chan Sung Gung, the Korean Zombie versus Brian Ortega, T City Ortega, taking place at 145 pounds. This fight was supposed to happen a year ago in Busan before this whole COVID mess, and that was when T City pulled out, I believe, due to injury, and got replaced by Frankie Edgar. We all know how that went. And but before we get to the breakdown, you know, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the little incident between Chan Sung-gung and Brian Ortega.
You're talking about where he slapped Jason Park?
Yeah, he pimp slapped to the Chan Sung-gung's translator. You
Yeah.
know, so I believe you know, they were interviewing Chan Sung-gung the first time for their fight, that was supposed to take place last year, I believe. And Chan Sung Gung, he's not proficient in English; it's not his first language. So he brought his friend Jay Park to translate for him, and I believe he told Jay Park to call Brian Ortega a BITCH, and the guy was like, okay, and then I guess that irritated Brian Ortega, so they were sitting close to each. What was that?
I said, so that's why he slapped him? I had never heard that story.
I did a little research. That's why he
Okay.
slapped him over some translating incident. So
hilarious.
at a UFC 248, they happened to be sitting pretty close to each other. Chan Sung Gung, Jay Park, Brian Ortega, and his entourage.
I was actually there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was the last live UFC event we went to. We saw that happen.
Israel Adesanya, you all remember?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. So they were actually sitting next to each other, and during the whole, event, Brian Ortega didn't say a thing to Chan Sung Gung, and then I guess Chan Sung Gung, when he went to the bathroom, that's when Brian Ortega got up, approached Jay Park, and he just pimp slapped him, and I guess that really irritated Chan Sung Gung. But so yeah, this fight is personal, I mean,
but wait, I have to tell you something else. I heard this real quick. I'm sorry, before you get into your breakdown. I heard that the translator who Ortega slapped, Jason Park, is actually going to be cornering Brian Ortega. Not Chan Sung Jung. Yeah. The guy who he slapped is going to be cornering Brian Ortega. Don't know. I don't know if it's true. I don't know the validity. We'll have to verify later on.
Yeah, I don't. That sounds a little too good to be true.
That sounds like some WWE stuff, right?
Yeah, it sounds like
anyway, we'll the breakdown, buddy.
We'll have to see. But so breakdown. So we have Chan Sung Gung, MMA veteran. I mean, who doesn't know Chan Sung Gung? The guy, very well-rounded fighter, has striking, submission. And then we have Brian T. City, also a well-rounded fighter, has good striking, has very good jiu-jitsu. He's mostly known for his jiu-jitsu, but his striking isn't as good as Chan Sung Gung's. I would give Chan Sung Gung the nod in the striking department. But the way I see this fight going down, I only see Brian T. City winning this fight by submission. But I think Chan Sung Gung, he's just too experienced. He's seen it all. I don't think he's going to get caught with his submissions. He's going to shut down all those attempts. And I have Chan Sung Gung winning via TKO, third or fourth round, late round.
I like it. All right. Chan Sung Jung, the Korean zombie, man, coming into this fight without doing any research. I was on Brian T. City Ortega. I'm not even going to front with you. But after watching the tape, after doing a lot of research, after looking at everything from an objective perspective, I was just swayed. I gotta be honest with you guys. I was swayed. Coming off 2 wins against Moicano and Frankie Edgar, 2 really good wins. Chan Sung Jung, got 77% takedown defense. That's important. That's really, really important in this fight. Like you said, I only see Brian Ortega's path to victory being a submission win. His striking is okay. Allegedly, he's been working on it. His striking is okay. It's pretty rudimentary. It's pretty, just boxing based, like standard, nothing spectacular. But his bread and butter is the submissions. Everybody knows it. Chan Sung Jung, he's got the better striking, much better striking, in my opinion. He's got amazing durability, amazing toughness. And if he doesn't get taken down, I literally see Zombie smashing Ortega on the feet. Remember Max Holloway versus him? Imagine that, but way more power. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say that also.
Carries way more power on him. He's got really good cardio. He's not slowing down in a 5-round fight. He's going to keep coming forward no matter what. And Brian Ortega, like we were referring to, his last fight with Max Holloway got absolutely worked. I believe it was a doctor stoppage. The dude's face was getting completely battered. Brian Ortega, he's very hittable. His striking defense isn't that good. He's coming off a long layoff. Hasn't fought since that fight. He's super durable himself, though. He's not going to quit. He was getting his ass beat, and he was still in there trying to win. He's got an absolutely incredible ground game, but rudimentary striking. Man, can T-City get the Korean zombie down? That's the biggest question for me. And if he can't, which I don't I mean, he might be able to once or twice, but like you said, Chan Sung Jung is gonna thwart every submission attempt. He's not a scrub, you know. So
Yeah,
can he get him down? And even if he can he submit him? And the answer to that, in my opinion, is no. I don't think he can. I think I
yeah,
got Chan Sung Jung absolutely mauling Ortega on the feet. And I don't really see this one even being close. And this is actually my lock of the night. I see Korean Zombie just hurting Ortega.
yeah. Also wanted to add that Brian T City, his jiu-jitsu is really good, but he's not much of a wrestler. So most of his submission wins, most of his takedowns, he doesn't like shoot. It's sort of like a clinch headlock, get you to the ground kind of
Love that,
submissions. You know, he's
yeah.
not gonna shoot for a double or single.
Yeah.
I mean, he could, but he's not good at those. And I
Mhm.
think Chan Sung Gung is just gonna shut him down, keep it on the feet, and just hit him with that Jorge Masvidal 3-piece and a soda.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I agree 100%. That's gonna wrap up the card. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment. Do you guys agree, disagree? What do you guys think about Obi? What about the little shark tooth necklace? Should he get rid of it next time? I don't know. Tell us your guys' thoughts, opinions, questions, concerns, all that good stuff. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Maciovic. Just kidding, I don't think that's my handle anymore. But anyways, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us, Obi. We hope to have you back again. We appreciate you.
My pleasure.
And until next time, y'all. Peace late.
All right. Peace late, guys. Enjoy the card.
Yeah.